pleasant good morning. As we meet again, like I said, as we meet again on a different time, a different space, a different story, let's unpack this disturbing story that didn't really make the news. That this is a 60 million bribery or bribes and never made the news. The former Ohio House Speaker Larry Householder, right? Yes, got in trouble, but we never saw CNN. We never saw a lot of people pick up this story. And this is U.S. attorney. Okay, people? This is big-ish and ash, guys. Seriously. Okay? So at this point in time, we'll be like, oh my God. Could you imagine? Could you imagine, guys? But nevertheless, guys, like I said, I hope your Thursday was wonderful. Thank God it's Friday. Hooray, we made it. Oh my word, we made it, guys. And at the end of the day, we made it with another topic and another day, and we have to give God thanks. Because without God in the midst, without God in the midst, guys, where would we be? So, guys, have you ever heard about Stomp It? Stomp. Tell me about it in the comment section when you get a chance, okay? Because I want to go, but I'm not sure how that is, how that's going to pan out, if it's going to be a good thing or not. Just asking you guys. Let me know how that is. If you guys ever went with your children and your family, so to speak. Okay, guys? So, big up yourself on this Thursday. Let's try to unpack this story quite so. So we ball out happy Thursday, guys, and let's unpack the story quick and fast, right? So that was happy Thursday. That passed, like I said, and big up yourself on yesterday, Thursday, right? And now we're here, guys, and we're like, okay, we made it. Yeah, thank God we made it. But at the end of the day, guys, we want to say, big up on the Friday, because now Thursday went yesterday, and whoever never got there, big up on Thursday. Whoever watched the content late, big up for yesterday. But right now we made it. Happy Friday. So thank you for stopping by, and let's unpack the story quick and fast. All right, guys? So I'm going to read from my best of my ability, and then I have the audio for you guys, and then we could talk about some other things tying to even yesterday and all. So good morning, one and all. Thank you for stopping by. Go and get your friends, share the live, bring your coffee, bring your tea, your good herbal tea, even eat your breakfast. Are you on your way from work? Well, come on in, because the content start. So pull up in the YouTube space. Where is my audience? Seriously. Okay, guys. So let's unpack the story quick and fast. Former Ohio House Speaker sentenced to 20 years in prison for leading a racketeering conspiracy involving 60 million in bribes. So how come CNN and everybody else never pick up on that story, guys? How come that story is not blasting all over the internet? But if it's anybody else now, we'll be hearing about the racketeering. And if it was anybody else, the news would have picked up this over and all over tremendously. So what occurred? What happened, right? Anyhow, Cincinnati former Ohio Speaker Larry Householder, 64, of Glenford, Ohio, was sentenced in federal court here today. So we'll give you a full-blown story, like I'm giving you a fresh story, like fresh off the bat, Mr. Fresh off the bat, fresh off the bat, Mr. Fresh off the bat. No stale story like stale bread, like no stale story. So let me unpack, okay? So like I said, people, the man is 64 years old. Look at the mutt. Look at the uncivilized mutt on the page. Look at the man. So you're 64 years old and you end up yourself in 61 million bribe or 60 million bribe. Seriously. They said 61, but they said it was 60 million. All right, people? So let's unpack quick and fast. All right? So today, like I said, the news is fresh. All right? And, he was in some kind of problem and stuff like that. So him finally got him time. All right? So, sentenced in federal court here today for 240 months in prison for leading a racketeering conspiracy to receive nearly 61 million in bribes to pass and uphold $1 billion nuclear plant bailout. So imagine that there was a nuclear bailout and you took the bribe. The court remanded householder to custody of U.S. Marshal after conclusion of sentencing. All right, guys? Larry Householder led a criminal enterprise responsible for one of the largest public corruption conspiracies. Make that make sense for you? Did you guys hear? One of the largest public corruption conspiracies. So how come that never made head news, guys? How come Diddy case overshadowed this big public case? Huh, guys? How come everybody case overshadow one of the largest public corruption conspiracy in Ohio history? What did I just say? It's the largest public corruption in Ohio history. Larry Householder. Okay, people? Let's continue. So let me repeat myself. Larry Householder led a criminal enterprise responsible for one of the largest public corruption conspiracies in Ohio history. Said U.S. Attorney Kenneth L. Parker, elected officials owe a duty to provide honest service for their constituents. Okay? Transparency, integrate, and accountability and foundational principles of democracy. Okay? Householder once held one of the 3 most powerful offices in the state of Ohio. Now, because of his corruption, he will serve prison sentence. So this man held 3 most powerful offices. This man is a House Speaker. One of the largest public corruption conspiracy in Ohio history. And it never made the news. I wonder why. So if you never heard about the story, first and you second. Okay, guys? Let's continue. The people of Ohio are the true victims. Remember, it's taxpayers' money. All right? The people of Ohio are the true victims of Larry Householder corrupt scheme to increase his power and pass billion-dollar corporate bailout. So he's trying to bail out these people. Remember, there was a nuclear plant bailout, and he basically took the bribe. That's what they're basically saying, right? Okay. Stated FBI Special Agent in Charge, J. Williams Rivers, while we hope the sentence clearly demonstrates that corruption does not pay, the FBI will continue to investigate and pursue those who abuse their position and take advantage of the public. A jury found Householder and former Ohio Republican Party Chair Matthew Borgs, 50, of Maxwell, Ohio, guilty of participating in a racketeering conspiracy. The verdict was announced in March, following a 6-week trial that included more than 1,000 exhibits and 25 witnesses. The government proved, beyond a reasonable doubt, a trial that Householder and his enterprise conspired to violate the racketeering status. 1 second. The racketeering status, guys, right? The verdict was announced, right? In March, that's what he did, right? Over 1,000 exhibits and 25 witnesses. So he couldn't get away with this one. So like I said, people, the government proven beyond that they're not playing, basically, right? And remember, this was a big enterprise, bribery enterprise in the history of Ohio, all right? So the government proved beyond, like I said, reasonable doubt. At the trial, the Householder and his enterprise conspired to violate racketeering status through honest service wire fraud, receipt of millions of dollars in bribes and money laundering, all right? Householder and conspirators exploited the lack of transparency, all right? In 501c, entities buried their corruption and complex scheme to accept nearly $61 million in bribes to pass and uphold a $1 billion nuclear plant bailout. According to court documents and trial testimony, from March 2017 to March 2020, the enterprise traded millions of dollars in bribery campaign, donation in exchange for householder, and, okay, so on his end, on his end, people, that's what he did. And the enterprise held passing House Bill 6. The defendants then also worked to corruptly ensure that the HB 6 went to effect by defeating the bailout initiative to overturn the legislation. Oh no. In March, remember this was going on from in 2017, people, and it just got caught up into this man, this lying, thieving man. Okay? In March 2017, householder began receiving, see, quarterly 250,000. So the man been getting money from 2017, I got a shout. 250,000 payments for the related energy companies in the bank account of his Generation Now team householder spend millions of company dollars to support householder political bid to become the speaker, to support house candidates they believe would back householder and for their own personal benefit, guys. All right? The United States detailed the householder spent more than $500,000 off the dark money to pay off his credit card, judge of God, balances, repair his Florida home, and settle businesses lawsuit. Borg used approximately $366,000 for his personal benefit. Borgs also budget $2,500 to bribe an Ohio Republican operative to try to save House Bill 6. Borg gave them a $15,000 check exchange for information on the number of signatures collected on the anti-House Bill 6 bailout. Borg is scheduled to be sentenced tomorrow, and we're going to be on the case, like on the case. Householder longtime campaign and political strategies, Jeffrey Longstrength and lobbyists, both of the Columbus, Ohio, previously pleaded guilty to their roles in the racketeering conspiracy. First Energy Corporation signed and deferred prosecution a settlement in July 2021, agreeing to pay $230 million penalty for conspiring to bribe public officials and others, and await sentencing hearing have not yet been scheduled. Kenneth L. Parker, United States Attorney for the Southern District, Ohio, and J. William Rivers, Special Agent in Charge, Federal Bureau of Investigation, Cincinnati, announced that the sentence imposed today by Senior U.S. District Judge Timothy S. Black, Deputy Criminal Chief Emily N., and Assistant United States Attorney Matthew C. Singer, Megan Painter, and Timothy S. Mangan represent the United States in this case. All right, people? So if you never heard about this case, that's the case. And it's a troubling case, quite so, because this is a public figure. This is a former House Speaker, Larry Householder, and he's been collecting money from 2017 people. Not only that, to pass Bill 6, and not only that, people, there were 25 witnesses and 100 exhibits. So there's no way Larry, the speaker, could have got away from this bribery and this sentence and this case of criminal activity. Okay, guys? He was supposed to be trusted. When it comes to the public, you got to be trusted. Simple as that. All right, guys? So from there, guys, we want to unpack the story and give you guys basically the audio of the case, okay? And then we're going to wrap up the case and talk about something else, all right? Quick and fast. So let's get to the audio, and you guys, we could discuss this more from there, okay?
Ohio's former House Speaker. That was the sentence given to Larry Householder today for his role in the state's largest ever public corruption case. Let's bring in here Columbus Bureau reporter Morgan Trout. She has followed this federal trial for us in Cincinnati from the very beginning. She was there today. Morgan, the judge brought down the maximum sentence to Larry Householder?
Delon, yes. Larry Householder served Ohio as a lawmaker for a decade. Now he's going to be spending double that time in a new role, an inmate in federal prison.
And today, we witness justice for Ohioans.
A federal judge has sentenced former Ohio House Speaker Larry Householder to 20 years in prison, the maximum sentence allowed. U.S. Attorney Ken Parker says this is accountability.
It showed that if you're going to stand up and say that you're a public servant in this state, that you have to be a true public servant, not an imposter.
Going into the courtroom this afternoon, Householder wasn't feeling too confident.
Don't have to say.
Even if he had any hope left, it would have been crushed by Judge Timothy Black. In a scathing sentencing, he told him that he betrayed Ohioans, assaulted democracy, and was a bully. He also said that Householder liked control, liked having people under his thumb, and liked being the puppet master. The judge criticized him for lying on the stand and then trying to make himself out to be a good person in his statement to the court today. Householder was immediately taken into custody, brought out of the court in handcuffs. Should State House staffers, current lawmakers, and lobbyists who were part of Householder's crew, should they be nervous right now?
No, they ain't do anything wrong. We continue to look through evidence and we continue to listen to recordings and speak to individuals. So we're going to go, if something's there, we're going to go there too and address matters in that accord.
He asked the U.S. Attorney if he thought there would be merit to Householder's appeal. Parker said that his team would be victorious. And the story is not over yet. Former GOP leader Matt Borges will be sentenced tomorrow morning. Live in Cincinnati, I'm Morgan Trout reporting.
So imagine that, guys. Imagine that, guys. Imagine that, guys. All right? Imagine that, guys. Seriously. Okay? Imagine. Could you imagine? So at the end of the day, people, where he thought he was going to go, if you have 25 witnesses, have the money going in your bank account, basically, and all of these things, where he thought he was going to go, people, he thought he was going to get away with this one. He thought he was going to get away with this one. So let's unpack this quick and fast again.
Well, this afternoon, a federal judge sentenced former Ohio House Speaker Larry Householder to 20 years in prison for bribery and racketeering. Leah Lai is with us now in the newsroom. She has the very latest for us. And as we look ahead, too, to what's going to happen from this point on, Lena.
Hi, Christy. Householder got the maximum sentence, as allowed by law, for orchestrating a $60 million bribery scheme that is considered the biggest public corruption scandal in Ohio history. Householder was convicted in March of racketeering conspiracy in which First Energy funneled $60 million to him and his allies in exchange for passing a $1.3 billion nuclear plant bailout, also known as House Bill 6. And Ohio consumers are footing that bill. It's why prosecutors called the punishment justice for Ohioans.
It showed that if you're going to stand up and say...
So just imagine that. One of the biggest corruption in Ohio, and this really didn't make the news until somebody had to go and get that. It didn't make the news until I have to come and say, guys, did you guys hear about the story at all? Right? Could you imagine? Could you imagine, guys? All right. So I want to get into some other part of this. So this is the largest corruption, people. All right. Let's get to the trial. 1 second.
News at 5:30 starts with breaking news tonight. Former Ohio House Speaker Larry Householder has been convicted of a scheme involving dark money at the Ohio State House. Both Householder and former GOP chair Matt Borges were found guilty of conspiracy to participate in a racketeering enterprise involving bribery and money laundering. Householder's attorneys described his acts as nothing more than hardball politics. Both men face up to 20 years in prison. Thanks for joining us at 5:30. I'm Yolanda Harris.
And I'm Andrew Kinsey. Attorneys on both sides spent 30 months preparing their arguments for this trial, which to date is the largest public corruption trial in state history. It came with plenty of twists and turns. First Energy had been asking Ohio lawmakers for money for 2 nuclear plants.
Listen.
According to the FBI, First Energy routed more than $60 million to 501c4 groups.
Listen.
The complaint did not directly name or charge First Energy. Instead, it's referred to as Company A.
Listen.
Here's why this is important. 501c4s are not required to reveal their donors, sometimes referred to as dark money groups. According to the complaint, those groups were controlled by then Ohio House Speaker Larry Householder. Allegedly, Company A sent most of the money to a dark money nonprofit called Generation Now to support candidates
Listen.
Householder chose, in turn helping him win his bid to Ohio House Speaker.
Listen.
In 2019, Householder earned that title with 26 Republicans and 26 Democrats. Shortly after House Bill 6 is introduced,
Listen.
it provided a $1 billion subsidy to fund the original 2 nuclear plants.
Listen.
It passed the House and Senate, and in July of 2019, Governor Mike DeWine signed it into law. 1 year later, the FBI raids Larry Householder's home and brings him into federal court to be officially charged with racketeering. Householder was arrested along with Matt Borges.
So these are all the people that were arrested,
And
guys.
3 others. The group accused of participating in a bribery scheme.
Okay.
The complaint listed a number of dark money groups, including election committees where money was alleged.
Listen.
Is how prosecutors proved it was spent.
Listen.
1, to get Householder elected, to elect others who would help him acquire subsidies. 2, the FBI also said Householder used the money for personal benefits.
My
like paying off a
God.
lawsuit and to fix a house he owned in Florida. And 3, for various efforts to pass House Bill 6.
See?
Well before the trial started, 2 of the co-defendants pleaded guilty. A third, longtime lobbyist Neil Clark, died by suicide. 3 months later, Householder was expelled from the Ohio House. Only Householder and Matt Borges challenged the cases against them, pleading not guilty, leaving their futures in the hands of a federal jury. For 6 weeks, jurors heard testimony by more than 25 witnesses involving hundreds of documents. The trial came to a pause several times due to illness involving jurors and Householder.
Listen.
At one point during the trial, Householder endured a scathing cross-examination where he was outright accused of lying after he denied having dinners with First Energy executives in Washington, D.C. during the January 2017 presidential inauguration. That's where Householder's top 8 testified that the bailout scheme was initially hatched. Householder's attorney fired back, trying to convince jurors that his client was an honest politician who was looking out for everyday Ohioans when he created the controversial House Bill 6 and pushed for its passage and preservation.
Biggest corruption.
A jury in Cincinnati found the 2 guilty of conspiracy to participate in racketeering enterprise involving bribery and money laundering. Householder has suggested that he will appeal this decision. Of course, we'll continue to bring you updates on the sentencing phase at 10TV.com, our 10TV News app, and here on air. Remember, that app is free.
Okay, guys, so that's why he ended up getting the 20 years. So Ohio, biggest corruption, and we never heard about it at all. All right? So if you never heard about this story, guys, now you heard about the story. All right? So this is when he reacted to his guilty verdict back then, and then now he got 20 years. Okay, guys? So let's continue.
Anything you want to say to the people of Ohio?
Yeah, I remain committed to the people of Ohio. I've always been committed to the people of Ohio, and I think that the justice system is what it is, and there's a process. This is one step to the process, and we're going to utilize every process we can in the judicial system until we get it right. Thank you very much, guys.
Wow, shameless dog.
We have an incredible trial team.
Okay. So you know they put him to trial and they prosecute him. Okay?
This is a win, a victory for Ohioans. This is a victory for Ohioans. You cannot sell the public trust.
Yep.
You cannot sell the public trust. It is not for sale. And you cannot conspire with others to sell the public trust. As I indicated before, we will be relentless. We have a team in our office that will be relentless and that will hold you accountable. So, as I indicated, this is a victory for all Ohioans. Let that be clear. A victory for all Ohioans. I will not be taking any questions.
Okay. So that's when he got his 20. That's when he got his 20-year sentence now, guys. So he never got. He couldn't get away with it, and all of that. There was one part again. People, householders seek to prevent recordings being played in court. There was one part of that. So let's get to that part as well. All right.
We are 1 week away now from the start of one of the largest political corruption trials in Ohio history. We were the first to report how the government planned to win its case against former Ohio Speaker of the House, Larry Householder. State House reporter Morgan Trow now got the latest documents in the trial revealing how the former Speaker plans to argue his case.
Ohio's federal bribery case will reveal if a former state house leader put a price on legislation. $60 million to be exact.
House come to order.
Ex-Ohio House Speaker Larry Householder has been arrested on racketeering charges in connection to a $1 billion bailout for First Energy, one that raised costs for taxpayers and funded a nonprofit allegedly controlled by the lawmaker.
The government is going to have to show some kind of corrupt motive.
Constitutional law expert Jonathan Enton explains that the government already issued their pretrial brief, sharing what evidence it wants to bring into court and what should be left out. Now, Householder and accused co-conspirator Matt Borges, both maintaining innocence, argue back.
Two key areas of disagreement. The recordings involving other people where neither Householder nor Borges was in the conversation.
The defense argues that it isn't fair to use recordings or statements of other people's conversations regarding House Bill 6 and the pair, since it's considered hearsay. The other major argument stems from the merits of the energy bailout.
Householder and Borges are going to try to allow evidence to come in that whether HB 6 was sensible public policy or not, they thought it was, and if they thought it was, then they could not have acted in a corrupt way. The government is going to say, you're pulling our leg, basically.
The prosecution has already contended that isn't what the case is about. The case is about taking money for unlawful purposes.
Yep.
Whatever Judge Black ultimately decides on these issues will help to set the agenda for.
So that's what happened, people. One of the biggest corruption of racketeering in Ohio. All right? One of the biggest corruption in Ohio, guys. All right? From there, guys, okay? From there, we want to talk about the shooting, the ICE shooting. And like I said, people, they said that the officer violated the policy. So let's get there quick and fast. All right? Give me a second.
Certainly over the governor, the mayor, other elected officials, the community is scared, to say the least. This happened in our community.
So we're talking about the shooting with the ICE shot the lady.
Minnesota is as a state or as a local community. And I think the problem is, you know, people need to take a step back. Let this investigation go on. Let the facts come out. Let's look at it in the totality of the circumstances rather than ramping it up with things that are said, things that are done, things that you can't take back once they're done.
Look, Stu, usually we're hearing that from the mayor, the governor, the president, you know, who Stanek left out there in the analysis of who's saying hot things. But the rhetoric aside, when you are assessing the specifics of the shooting, you heard my take on what the relevant testing is of what happened. What do you see and think?
So, Chris, my opinion is solely tonight without any political favor. It is strictly on the merits, legally, and based upon my experience, not only in defending these type of cases, meaning representing families who have been victims as a result of officer-involved shootings, in particular, people that have been shot while trying to flee. With that being said, the mission of DHS and ICE is necessary. That's a fact. There is a rule of law, and whether you agree with it or disagree with it, as long as the rules are on the books with respect to attempting to deport individuals that are here illegally, I will 100% support that endeavor. However, that endeavor does not operate in a vacuum. There are rules, there are policies, there are procedures in place with respect to require law enforcement agents or officers to operate and to adhere to those rules of engagement. We don't operate in a vacuum. And to the point of your guest, the rhetoric has increased, the threat level has increased, no doubt, to ICE agents, to local law enforcement, to law enforcement across this country. However, we must adapt. With that being said, when I look at this shooting, when you take a look at the video and you slow it down, when you take a look at the wheels, the driver's side wheel, when she starts to move forward,
and he started to shoot in the car.
The wheel starts to turn to the right.
See, right away from him, not into him.
Violated policy. Now, ICE agents
see, away from him, not into him. So he couldn't be a threat.
Policy in place
couldn't be a threat.
Do not put yourself in front or behind a vehicle, only under the exception of when you're doing an inspection. So that officer, by placing himself in front of that vehicle, has created what I call an exigent circumstance.
To kill the woman.
Manufactured a situation that if in fact this individual decides to flee, he has put himself, by inserting himself in violation of department policy,
there you go,
to create a situation that obviously would require him to protect himself. However, this woman did not drive towards him.
He tried to drive the way.
Path of travel, trying to turn to the right. Unfortunately, I think at best he got broadsided or swiped aside. But if you take a look at his gun, he starts to take his gun out of his holster immediately upon her moving forward.
See there?
Now, this circuit has ruled that you cannot look at just this isolated incident. You must look at the totality of the circumstances. And this circuit has opined, all the way up to the Supreme Court, that fleeing, people that get stopped may flee. That is something that law enforcement must anticipate, that people may take off. That is the very reason why you don't put yourself in front or behind a vehicle. And so if without any other facts, meaning this woman was a violent felon, meaning she had run someone over previously, or had committed a kidnapping, or had injured someone, at best, let's assume disorderly conduct.
So say the woman did run over somebody before, he have the right to do whatever because, she knowing of running over people. But at the end of the day, the lady was steering her car away. So how do you shoot the lady and think you're going to get away with it, guys? Simple as that. So what did I tell you yesterday? Hell is going to break loose in America. Because here goes the policy of violating, shooting that lady. And now the crowd is going to be amped up. Most of these illegal are going to be amped up. So all of these kind of things, people. So it's going to be a bloody America. And not only that, because of the Venezuela situation with the oil and stuff, it's going to be another situation, guys. All right? Okay, good morning. Rough Moon Child, good morning. So all of those kind of things, people. So do you think that ICE was justified of shooting that woman? I don't think so, to be honest. But nevertheless, guys, let's shy from there and drift from there, so to speak, and all of that. All right. Then we want to go to Iran. As you guys know, that Iran is in some kind of issue and problem, right? And there's about so much people died in Iran. And all of that's going on in Iran right now, guys. So I don't know if you guys know that there's so much unrest in Iran right now, okay? And the world is getting very dangerous, people, to be honest. And you guys know that when it comes to Iran, it's not something that it's good. So 36 people have been killed already in Iran so far. And it's lots of protesting and stuff like that. All right. And it's a wild spread of actually because of all of this that's going on right now in Iran. Okay. So let's get to Iran for a second.
We're paying close attention to what is.
Okay. Let's get to Iran for a second.
Is and what might be happening in Iran tonight. Those are some of the most recent verified video images of protest activity there. As of right now, there is no internet access across the country. This is the first blackout since protests began 12 days ago. At least as many as 21 people are believed to have been killed. That includes security forces.
Mm-mm.
CBC's Sarah Galashan is taking a look at this for us, and what can you tell us?
Well, let me just start by saying that it is very difficult right now to know what is happening on the ground in
Yep.
Iran. It is right now 4 in the morning. Huge
Look
shout
at
out
Iran
to
people,
our
and then it's a
investigation team,
blackout.
in Toronto at CBC, because they have been working very hard to track what video is actually trickling out of the country over the last few hours. This is what we can show you of the capital of Tehran. Images show a very, you can see a large group of people walking toward what would be the city square. There can be chanting heard. It does appear in these videos at least to be relatively calm in traffic on the street. This would not be necessarily happening right now because you can see how many cars and we don't have an actual time on it, but it is the most recent, as I say. Similar in the northern city of Babel, and this would be Babel. Chants heard again, clapping heard from protesters. Again, important to say that our team has verified these images, and they do run counter to the state narrative that is coming out, which is that there are very
So remember, so there's no internet access and
in
everything
the
is cut off,
country,
you know,
in
people.
the
No
capital
phone,
of
nothing,
Tehran,
you know.
only a small
Oh.
number of rioters there. Over the last 12 days, that's how long this movement has been happening and growing. It has been fueled over the collapse of Iran's currency, and as well by calls from a number of individuals, now the least of which is Reza Pahlavi, the eldest son of the exiled Shah who lives in the United States. He has posted, and this is him right here, posted to various social medias, this took off of X, in which he is calling on people in Iran to take to the streets at a specific time today and tomorrow. It was around 8 p.m. that he was calling for people to flood the streets en masse, and said that based on what happens, there will be further.
So you see, so the power is shut off, telephone is shut off, and all of these. You guys know how Iran people carry on. So at this point in time, we're going to watch these people. Deadly, bloody, all kind of things going on in this world. What is this world coming to people? You don't see that we're living in a dangerous world and we're living in a serious time. We're living in a serious time. Seriously. From there, guys, from there, we have to say that we live to see some dangerous time. We used to talk about that World War I and World War II. We never lived to see that, and now we live to see that. All right, people? Good morning. Oh, hi, greetings from Australia. Holy smokes, from Australia. Oh, my word. Thank you for stopping by. Another Jamaican doesn't know what's happening to US, just looking for another barrel to take to Jamaica. Huh? What? I'm not sure what's going on. But nevertheless, I'm not sure what does that have to do with anything but kiss my teeth and pass. Because if you're talking to me about something and taking barrels and whatever, I don't know who came out here and begged for barrels. I am not sure. But like I said to you, at this end of the day, people, Iran is in trouble and stuff like that. You see, one thing I hate, let me tell you about a lot of people. Because a lot of people, we hear you say 1 and 2 words, they come out here and they assume. What if I should go get my birth paper now and come and slap you with it? Would you like that? You just assume that I'm Jamaican? You just, off the bat, you just assume that someone is Jamaican? That's what I keep on telling you about some ignorant, biased people in this world nowadays. Just assume. Just assume. What if I go and get my birth paper and to come and slap you with it right now? Would you feel okay to know that I am not Jamaican? I wasn't born in Jamaica, so I have to just kiss my teeth and pass. But nevertheless, okay? But I know people from Jamaica, yes? And other things. So who the hell is out here asking for asking for people to give barrel? And even when I send barrels to Jamaica, who the hell came out here and beg? One thing I don't do, if you don't know me, I don't come out here and beg. I have my own money, my own moolah. I have a great job. Went to school for it and everything, so I make my own. Thank you. Never came out here and beg. Anything you on my page watching and see that I'm packing came out of my pocket. I have the receipts for it. You guys are too disturbing and disgusting. And you see anything that I pack came out of my food pantry in my house. In my house, I have a small grocery store. If you can see and look. Okay, so nobody out here begging the public, crying to the public for nothing at all. Because the amount of things that went to Jamaica to help those people, it has stopped the clock. And the amount of money that the government in Jamaica got, he should have able to bail out his own country. So don't come out here to come and pass all of these ignorant things so early in the morning. Don't be ignorant because you have people in America right now don't have food to eat. You have people in America right now going to food banks. So why are you assuming that if somebody come from somewhere, they're here begging to send back stuff to a country when people in America right now homeless and hungry like dogs? Come on now. And you're American. Speak the good American now. Have the papers for America. Not getting put out of the country because you're American and they have no job, nowhere to live and no food to eat. What do you say about that? Don't be ignorant. Just don't assume. Because when you assume, it makes the world dangerous. All right? And I'm not even going to look for you and block you. Don't be ignorant, okay? It's early in the morning. Thank God for life that we're alive, okay? Jesus. Like most of the time, people don't have to answer that, but I hate when people are so ignorant. You just can't assume. And you can't assume where people are from. Because the last time I checked, I was not born in Jamaica. So I have to just kiss my teeth and pass, like, literally. Too ignorant, man. Some of you American people are too ignorant. Same like the other day when I talk about Venezuela, no come and jump and talk about drugs this and drugs that. And when we hide there in there invading the people for their oil. Don't be ignorant and dark, okay? Simple. But nevertheless, people, kiss my teeth and pass. Sorry for the interruption. Some of these people are too ignorant in the nighttime, in the morning time, and some of them are some of the devil disciples, and they will come here and talk shit that they don't know. Like I told you guys, watch the shorts, watch my page. A lot of people is on the page watching because they see all the food and stuff like that. From I know myself until now, I never come out here and beg a dime. That's why I don't have TikTok. I don't want nobody to rank. I don't want nobody to give me nothing. That's why I tell you guys more time. Most of the time, guys, you guys are not going to see me because I'm extremely busy. I make my own money, mad money. No, don't mean to brag. I get a good paycheck, good paycheck. Yeah, because I went to school for my education. So girl, out here, please. Well, people are just here begging to go get barrels to go to Jamaica. How dare you guys? And if someone out here and begging for donation, and what? You have people that are born in America, you know, speak the good language, won't even try to say let them go to school, and out here begging on the system. Okay? Living in housing, and they're born in America. So what would be their excuse why they're born in America and they're living off the government and collecting food stamps? What would be their story? Right? What would be their story? If you're born in a country, are you supposed to be out here begging? Are you supposed to be out there homeless? I'm only asking. So you guys are making immigrant come in you guys' country, have jobs, have food, have shelter. But you're out here being ignorant? Don't be ignorant. They always say some American at times could be racist at times. Don't be that one. Don't be ignorant. Because not everybody out here begging for Jamaica, to be honest. It's not everybody's from Jamaica. And one thing I hate, let me tell you this. You'll be having a conversation with a person of color, or you'll be having a conversation with a Caucasian or a white person. And the first thing come out of their mouth is, are you from Jamaica? Is Jamaica the only country in the world? So when you're black, you're either from Jamaica or you're from Africa. I never been to Africa. Okay? At all. Some people say that I'm ignorant. At times when you hide and you go and tell people, oh, I'm African American, I'm African this and I'm African that. When you hide and sit down with a lot of people from Africa, they're not medsing you. They're not having a conversation with you. You're not from Nigeria, you're not from Ghana, and those kind of people, those African people don't meds you. And if you're in a workplace, allegedly, and you're working with them, they give you the most hard time more than anybody else because they don't know themselves half of the time, allegedly. So don't let me have to school you on your nonsense and your ignorance this morning. Don't let me have to put a full stop in my content and really school you this morning for you to be ignorant and dark and stupid. Be mindful how you come out here. You understand? You just can't assume. You just can't watch out my page and believe people are begging for donation. The amount of food I have in my house are top clock. It's if because I was careless this morning, I'll give you a tour of my house. Yo, listen, man. The amount of food I have in my house, oh my God. Sometimes it's ungodly because there's so much food and a lot of people don't have food to eat. So you're there on my page watching out my grocery, watching out my barrels and stuff and talking about people donate. Donate what? Never see something hurt me like this in my life, bro. You think everybody in Jamaica, when donation went to Jamaica, you think a lot of people in Jamaica are going to eat all of that shit? You think half of those things that go to Jamaica are good? Remember, those people are sending things to Jamaica that people don't even really want to even eat in America. Remember all of those Campbell's soup and all of those things that came out that people are shipping in the barrels and all of those things that people will eat for dinner? Remember the big CEO did come and say it's poor people food and it's shit food and all kind of things is in the food. I drop a story like that on my page. So while you're scoring, looking at my grocery, looking at my barrels and coming out here to talk nonsense, know yourself next time. Know yourself to know that I'm a woman, that I have a job. Know yourself as a woman, I run something on the side. Know yourself as a woman, I like to shop and I shop all the time and buy my own things. I'm not out here begging. I can't be out here able and begging. I can't be make Almighty God take away my blessing by out here begging. So if you look at my page and you see enough food, came from the store, got all my receipts. All right, thank you very much. Can't stand some of you guys would like to see people things and don't know how people get their things but not assume. Like, come on. I'm not too ignorant and dark, brother. You understand? Disgusting. Like you think every Jamaican out here begging. Not everybody Jamaican out here begging. You have some of them, they beg till they're blind, but not every Jamaican out here begging, bro. You understand? So I wouldn't even make you come and say that kind of nonsense. Because you have people in Jamaica that had their family and their family send down so many good things for them. They weren't there begging. And then you have the people now that the storm wiped them away and there's nothing that they can do. When there's a disaster, there's a disaster. If there's a disaster, what can you do? You can't stop the disaster. What did you want them to do? When the disaster strike down there, did these people know that their home going to be washed away? Did they know that they're going to lose all their food in their farm? Did they know that all of these things are going to go? They said it's natural disaster. If it's not man-made, it's natural disaster. Did they know that they were going to lose everything? So we can't be ignorant out here and assume that everybody in Jamaica are out here begging like dogs. You cannot. And you cannot assume that when you come on someone's channel and you hear somebody say one slang or two slang, you assume that they're Jamaican. It's wrong. It's really wrong. Because when I see people outside, I don't give a shit where you're from. Okay? I don't give a shit where you're from when I see people coming outside or people, I run into anyone. I never ask. I don't ask people where you're from because it's not my business. Because remember, in America, it's immigrant that builds America. So we got to be mindful how we out here assuming, right? Anyways. From there, guys, we're going to revisit something from yesterday, all right? Let's revisit something from yesterday, what I spoke about, because when I speak about it yesterday, I don't want you guys to feel like I didn't talk about this according to. So we're going to revisit this. Let's see if I could find it. Give me a second. Let me see if I could find it, guys. 1 second. So I am going to revisit something that I spoke about yesterday. And then I'm going to talk about a few other things and I'm going to jump off the live because I got to go, right? Today's Friday, but I still got to run, all right? Still got to run, still got to run, all right? Still got to run, all right? 1 second. So let me talk about this for a second. If I can't find it, I'm just going to leave it alone because I don't even see it in here. Oh, where is it? Yeah, I don't even see it in here. Where is it? Where is it? Okay. I don't even see it in here. That's kind of strange, eh? I don't see it in my... Because I try to erase a lot of pictures when I go in my phone. Okay. Oh, all right. It's right here. Sorry, guys. It's right here. All right. Jaden. So remember yesterday I said... that... when you leave a child out there, let me be precise, okay, guys? Because I don't want you guys to think I come off very ignorant and stupid, eh? So at times I gotta explain a bit. So let's revisit this situation again. You have moms out here, like I said, will give away their children and go and have other children. There's circumstances. There's circumstances where a mom gave away their child for adoption because of circumstances. You have a mom that her child will be apprehended by the court because of circumstances. But Jaden mom, son wasn't apprehended by anyone. Jaden mom gave her son to the father. The father passed on the son to one of his family member. Not only that, the mom said she see Jaden sometime, and the mom also said the grandma also see Jaden. So Jaden was a hand reach, a foot reach, a car reach. So therefore, if you can see Jaden sometimes and know where he is all the time, then at the end of the day, she could have went to go get back Jaden before she have other children, because Jaden is her fourth child, and we get to understand that she has 7 child in total, or 6 to 7. So therefore, if Jaden is the fourth child, then she go on to have more children after Jaden. Okay, she probably end up going to have at least 3 more after Jaden. So how can you have 3 more after Jaden and then didn't go back for Jaden? So when you heard I said, it's hard for you to have children and leave them out there and continue to have children. There's circumstances. Children could be taken away by children aids. But the question becomes, what did you do? What program did you do to try to get back that child? Because you have some children that go end up in children aids, and children aids will give you all kind of programs to do for you to get back that child. And you have some of the mothers, they fail and falter to do some of those programs so they don't get back the children. So these are the things that I'm talking about. So yes, your child could be gone because of circumstances. All right. And then you end up having children. I understand. But Jaden's situation was not like that. So it was an isolated incident when it comes to Jaden and that story. Okay, people. So I'm not ignorant. I could reason and I understand exactly what's happening here. Okay, guys. Anyhow, from there, guys, we want to talk about some other things. All right. Give me a second. Let's talk about some other things, all right? Because I'm going to wrap up this live sooner or later because I got to run, okay? Friday, but I still got to go, all right? So let's get to Diddy for a second. So, guys, you know how Diddy and everybody been saying that possible Diddy will try to get a pardon from Donald Trump. We get to understand that Donald Trump said from the other day, like I showed you guys in one of my content, that Donald Trump said he's not thinking about pardoning Diddy anytime. See there? President Trump, no lifesaver for Diddy. I'm not considering pardoning Diddy. So Diddy seems like he would have to do his own time. But Diddy case overshadow this case, the biggest corruption case in Ohio. And we didn't hear about that until I came and unpacked that story. So when Ohio lawmaker man was out here stealing, nobody dropped that story at all. But the Diddy story overshadowed everything. And you know what's so disturbing, people? Let's revisit Diddy case for a minute. They claim that there was a gun in the house, that the serial number was off. They claim that they found a duffel bag full of drugs. Yes? And all of that. But yet still they never charge him with none of that, people. They try to charge him with the important and most serious crime and falter. Not only that, people, the prosecutor also lose her job. So the way how I see it, half of that shite that they made up wasn't true. He did some of it, but it wasn't true. And if you're going to charge somebody with racketeering, people, it has to be an organization. Okay, more than one people. So who else were they going to lock up? And remember, say it's not only Diddy was pouring all of those baby oil, and it wasn't only Diddy handling all of those things. So at the end of the day, if Diddy was really gonna go down in all of that, you would have to charge a few other people because he was not the only one doing those crimes. Same as the R. Kelly story. He wasn't the only one with those girls. Everybody knew what was going on. So these are the things that I'm talking about. And even Diddy bodyguard that keep on coming and talk on Vlad and talk about all of these people, he should be locked up too. Because if you're gonna talk about all of those crime out of your mouth that you knew, then by right you're supposed to be locked up too. Okay, guys? So all of that and all of that. From there, guys, we're gonna stop here. All right? Salt and pepper. So guys, you guys know that Salt and Pepper, okay, had a lawsuit against Universal Music Group over control of their master recordings, include hits like Push It, and has been dismissed by the courts. So right now, guys, they're not going to be owning their master. Just imagine that that's your own master. And you can't own it. It's owned by Universal Recording. Same like how Prince wanted is this. Same like how Michael Jackson wanted is this. And by the time you look, they end up killing them. They end up dying. Okay, guys? So really and truly right now, salt and pepper is very salty right now because the judge said, nope, you're not getting your master. Nope, Universal is going to own that until death do you part. Nope, 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 nope. So because their name is salt and pepper, rather salty from the judge, no justice, no victory. Salt and pepper won't be owning, guys, their master recordings. That is so sad that you have your master and you can't own it. That you have your masters and you cannot own it. So too bad, so sad when it comes to salt and pepper. Quite so. Okay, guys, I am troubled for them. It's not a good look, but the judge reigned January 8th and said, I'm dismissing your case. And you know, like they said, like Kanye West said, Universal and all of those people are owned allegedly by the Jews and all of that. And they own a lot of things. And a lot of black people out here singing out their hearts, but they can't own their stuff. Okay, people? Same like the Michael Jackson story, same like the Prince story, and every other musician that come out here and want their masters and end up have to put up a whole fight and end up dying like dogs. Okay, guys? So they're shouting that out because in the first place, while back, I mentioned salt and pepper situation, and I said to you guys, they'll be going to court sooner or later. So all of that, and a bag of chips. Okay, guys? Seriously. Anyways, moving on. What else I have to speak to you guys about? I think I am going to I am going to wrap up this live. It's 5 minutes before for an hour. So I think possible I'm going to wrap up this live. But let me see what else I need to speak to you guys about. I'm taking it smoothly and surely, guys. Today's Friday. Yay, we made it. And it's great. Okay, guys? Seriously, because, I mean, at times you need a peace of mind. And at times, man, you got to relax. Okay? All right. So now, I want to... 1 second if I could find it. Hold on. If I can't find it, then I'm just gonna let it go, guys, and then forget about it. All right. Where is it? Is it this one? Let's see. Actually, you know what? Maybe it's not that one. 1 second. I don't know why am I getting such an early. Man, I don't have time for that. Every day. I don't have... Why are they sending me... People, I'm just talking to myself right here. I'm not sure why the hell. Anyways, kiss my teeth and pass. I'm not gonna answer that email right now. When I get to work, I'll speak to them because these people don't know what time is it. Like, give people a break, man. Seriously. But anyways, guys, let's get to Brown University for a minute. All right, for a minute. The shooter basically left a
Breaking news: the FBI has discovered videos at the
confession note. Let's get there.
Boston University shooter took his own life.
Journal.
Police say Claudio Manuel Neves is the man responsible for killing 2 people at Brown and an MIT professor. The FBI published a transcript of the videos Neves left behind, which were translated from Portuguese to English. In one, Neves said, quote, "So what has been done now? I'm in a storage space in Salem," referencing the place where he took his own life.
Jaja.
CBS News senior crime and public safety producer Anna Shepard.
He left a note.
Now. So, Anna, what are we learning from these transcripts?
Listen.
Juliet, this is really extraordinary to see because we know now that he had been planning this for weeks and months. It matches up his description, essentially saying that he had many opportunities over the last semester. I think we even have a quote talking about where he talks about how he chickened out after having opportunities. There you see it on your screen. I had plenty of opportunities, especially this semester. I had plenty of opportunities, but I always chickened out, and I already explained why I did it this time. And interestingly, the Department of Justice...
Remember, he ended up go shoot the university, Brown University we're talking about, yeah?
Still searching for a motive. There you see, he also talks about how there was reporting about something that he yelled right when he opened fire, and he was saying that I must have made an exclamation like, "Oh no," or something like that to express that it was empty. That is, quote, if I said something like that, I thought that the people had left, end quote. So he's really, in a cold, calculating way, describing this horrific attack. And I guess
shoot
it's
up
not
the
surprising
Brown
that
school,
somebody
man.
demonstrating some kind of
Look at this.
sociopathic language carried out these attacks, but it is chilling, certainly, to read this transcript. It's interesting that the Department of Justice chose to release this. They probably want to show that they have been making progress. They were able to get access to his devices. In one of the videos, he says that it was recorded on an SD card. So
could you imagine?
They were able to upload those, review them, get them translated, and they wanted to enter it.
So you claim say life is good, but you end up going and shoot up the university. You claim say everything is fine, but you decide to go and shoot up the university. And then you end up killing yourself. Very coward to me. But what can I say? Could you imagine? Could you imagine, people, that this man confess, leave a note, and also come out here and cried that everything was okay? So if everything was okay, why did he even shoot up the school? If everything was okay, why did he shoot up the school? From the Columbine shooting, people, everywhere you go nowadays, if you're not careful, they come and shoot up the school. And if you're not careful, now they're going into churches to go and shoot up the church. What is this world coming to? What is this world really coming to, folks? What is this world really coming to? Huh? What is this world really coming to? So when you really think about it, guys, this is getting beyond me and all of that, guys. Really and truly, all right? So we're going to talk out here, people. Never forget that nothing is more powerful than a prayer. Nothing is stronger than a faith, and nothing is greater than God. Always remember that, okay, people? Wrapping up the life. Happy Friday. The week may have tested you, but you're still standing. Stronger, wiser, and more focused. Take a deep breath, wear your smile, and finish the week with grace and purpose. The best is yet to come. All right, people? So that's a word of advice for you guys today. Let me shout it out again. The week may have tested you, but you're still standing. Stronger, wiser, and more, okay? And more focused. Take a deep breath, wear your smile, and finish your week with grace and purpose. The best is yet to come. All right, guys? So I am running out, people, because I got to run in and go and clock in, guys. And I'm going to tell you, people, this whole week is going to be extremely busy for me. Non-stop. I have some outings with the kiddies, and then I have to help out my partner with the business, and then, you know, people, I am working my other job and all of these kind of things, people, because you don't know, I got to retire early, and you don't know, I need my pension. You see what I'm saying? Because the future, you don't know what the future holds, so you cannot just have one egg in one basket. You gotta have multiple. So at this point in time, people, like I said, exhausted, tired like dog, but what can I say? I'm gonna keep on pushing, nevertheless. But big up the hardworking people out there that you don't know, you feel the same way as me, you know, tired at times, but you still have to keep on going. Although when I'm at work, I don't do shit most of the time anyway, because it depends on what kind of job you have. It depends on what field you have. It depends on what field you work in. You're good to go. You have some job where you just sit down, but by the time you do all of the paperwork and go on your laptop and do all of these things, it's like mentally you're drained. You understand what I'm saying? But nevertheless, guys, like I said, and then not only that, my lunch is an hour. So more time, you know, my lunch is an hour. You know, I browse and I do a few things during my hour break and stuff like that, because most of the time, people, you need that break. But this weekend is going to be extremely busy for me. So if you guys don't see me in the morning, then you may be possible see me in the afternoon. If you guys don't really see me dropping a live or anything of that sort, just watch the shorts and watch the video. I'm going to upload 1 and 2 videos when I cannot come live, so to speak. I cannot promise you guys that I'm trying to come live every day at the same time, because girl needs to sleep, girl needs to stay in her bed, and don't forget that girl is not a single girl. So at this point in time, more time, you got to take it easy and relax. You know what I mean? So I cannot say at times, you know, I will come on the same time, 5, 6 o'clock at times. I cannot promise you that. But just remember to subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and then when I come live, you know that I'm alive. You understand what I'm saying, guys? You know, guys, the funniest thing, Christmas came, and until now I didn't even go through my Christmas stuff. I have some stuff packed up that I really didn't go on and check out my stuff. And you know, unpack my stuff them for Christmas, because like I said, when you have so much stuff, you're just gonna throw stuff one side. And like I said, that when you're out there working and stuff like that, sometimes things just stay in the bag until you unpack it and stuff like that. So I think in a couple of days I'm gonna do a video of unpacking my Christmas stuff, some stuff that I got for Christmas, some good stuff, and then we'll talk about that for a little content or short or something of that sort. I promise you guys that because I've been absent off the channel for a while, I am gonna be coming back to give you guys your content like how I should, like how I would. But at this point in time, sometimes people, I am busy. At times I am tired. I need some me time. So at this point in time, I'm not gonna really promise you guys that you guys will see me every day same time. But I'm trying to fill in that gap with a video or a short if I don't come live. It's not easy to come and sit here, people, and talk for an hour and read and talk and all of these kind of things. It's not easy because remember, on this YouTube space, most of the time, guys, all right, on this YouTube space, a lot of people feed off other people content, and a lot of people have to bring down other people to get our content, guys. Seriously. So when you really think about it, guys, thank you guys for stopping by. Happy Friday until we meet again. Bye.